Greetings and welcome to PEG RITV, the Ernest Faison Show. Feel pretty good about this one, as I do all of them. I got one of my Faisons, one of Rhode Island's boxing legends, Mr. Jarrod Tillinghast. Jarret, thanks for being on, man.
Pleasure, buddy.
Yeah, it's amazing how we met over at Amadeus and exchanged notes, and wouldn't you know it, he would have it that you would be on my TV show.
Amazing. It was. I looked up and I seen you. I'm like,
I know.
like a ghost.
It was, because we have a story we'll be telling you and sharing in a little while. So, Jarret, you're born and raised in Cranston. Why don't you tell
Providence.
Providence?
I was born in Cranston.
People? Okay.
I was raised in Providence.
Okay.
Well, I was raised all over the place. Wherever prison was at that time is where we moved.
Right.
So most of the time I grew up in Silver Lake area of Providence, Rhode Island.
Mm-hmm.
I went to Central High School. I played.
What was that like? Central.
It was. I went there at a time when it was kind of wild. You know, it was
Right.
when the Asians came and shot up the plaza, and with the, I don't know if you remember that time, but there was some brawl went down, and they came up on the plaza. They started shooting.
That's crazy.
Wild times.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Did you play any sports for Central High School?
Yeah, I was a beast on the football field.
Is that right?
Yeah.
What position did you play, Jarret?
Tailback.
Tailback.
Yeah, I had more touchdown passes from the tailback position than our starting quarterback did.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So you was able to tote the mail then?
Yeah, come on, I can run, man. I run. I did it all. I broke all touchdown records when I played for Edgewood Eagles. I was scoring 4 touchdowns a game.
That's outstanding.
Louis Fiola coached me.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow. So from there, what made you want to really get into boxing? What changed? Did you have, anger management problem? What made you, he said, to say the least, Ernest, what made you turn into a bad boy, Jarret?
Oh, man, the darkness, man. Darkness in my life.
Right.
When I was younger, growing up, I just could remember just always wishing I was big so I can get people back.
Right.
I wanted to pay a lot of people back for things that...
Were you picked on as a youth?
Oh, no, I wasn't picked on. I just lived in darkness in my life, my upbringing.
Okay.
The
and
home.
which we'll touch on.
Yeah, the home. And so, excuse me, I was the only really one in my family out of 9 that played sports and excelled. I would walk myself to football practice through Roger Ernest Park from Edgewood when I lived in Edgewood in the beginning.
Was that a challenge to do that, though, Jarret?
I was 8 years old. That's when the guys were out in Roger Ernest Park kidnapping people and stay out of the parks. And I was 8 years old walking through there like, come on.
Have no fear.
Come on.
Jarret is here.
Yeah, man.
I got a left hook for you. You know what?
I had a left hook when I was 8 years old. I always had a left hook. I was born with it.
Yeah. You're
Always
watching
had a left hook.
PEG RITV, the Ernest Faison Show. I have my Faison, my boy, Mr. Jarrod Tillinghast on, and he's telling us about all of some of the things challenges that he went through growing up.
Yeah.
Went to Central High School.
Yeah.
And, back then it was unheard of for an 8-year-old to be going through Roger Williams Park.
It alone.
How is it that you was able to stick your chest out and go do that?
Well, I was always fearless. If there was something that was happening, I was the one that was stepping up, and I was the third oldest out of 5 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I was, get behind me. Even my older brother and sister, get behind me. I just kind of took the front.
How many brothers and sisters you have?
I have 5 sisters and 4 brothers.
Wow.
Big
Decent sized family.
Yeah, big
And where do you fit in between all of them?
I'm the third oldest.
The third oldest. Okay.
Yeah, so when things were going, sour, and when things were dark, I was the one that was the big brother. I was my dad was in prison
Right.
when I was 4. So from when he went in prison, the family life at home was just
In disarray a little bit.
a little bit.
At what point, Jarret, did you meet Peter Manfredo?
I had known Peter for a while once I started coming up, and I moved to Silver Lake area of Providence. From about 14, I started knowing about Peter, and that's when he was training people in his basement. He started.
Oh, wow.
Then at 15 and a half, I had went into his gym, and that's when it all started. I walked in the gym because
his father was the one, right, who was behind the mastermind behind all of that. Is that correct?
Yeah. I walked
Manfredo Sr.
Yeah. Yep. I walked in Manfredo's gym at 15 and a half. I was knocking guys out. I was fighting everybody. I was just going wild out here. I was getting in all the 21 nightclubs, getting an entourage of people in with us. Nobody said nothing to me. We just come up and they let us right in. How many clubs we shut down?
So how about Jerry Boletto?
Gary
Boletto.
Gary Boletto, my cousin Gary. Yeah. Gary's got the heart the size of this building, you know?
Right. And I mean, he's paralyzed now. Is that correct?
Yeah, Gary's.
God bless him, man. He was trying to do some pull-ups. Somebody was telling me
he built a homemade pull-up bar in his yard for his son Aiden, because Aiden was getting into gymnastics, his youngest, and he kind of put the bar between some trees and he screwed the bar in with some, drywall screws, and Gary was really freaky. Like, when we were kids, we would all be walking, and Gary would walk on his hands around the whole block as much as we'd be walking, and he'd do the whole block on his hands. He was freaky like that. So we built
had agility there.
Oh, freaky. He was training for the American Ninja Warrior when that happened.
Oh, that's right.
So yeah, Gary's a freak when it comes to, strength and heart, and he's a great human. Gary's a great.
He is. I met him. He's a very interesting person.
He's got no.
Watching Peg RITV. Listen up, because all you boxing aficionados, I got a guy with a left hand that'll knock you out. Mama said knock you out. That man's so bad, he make medicine sick.
You already know.
And there he is. That's Jarret Tillinghast, my brother, Faison.
Yeah.
And it's a pleasure, man, to have you on the
Ernest,
show.
Man, we've been friends a long time.
Yeah, at least 15 years.
Yeah, maybe 20. Longer.
Maybe 20.
Longer.
So when you think about the boxing game, what individual can you point to, whether it be Muhammad Ali, whether it be Joe Frazier? Because Joe Frazier had the left hook too, just like you.
Yeah, he did.
Who would have been the person that would have motivated you to get into boxing, Jarret?
I was always a fan. I like the old school, man. I was.
Marciano? Where we at?
I'm Irish. I was an old school fan. I like Sugar Ray Robinson, man.
Oh, wow.
People forget about Sugar Ray Robinson. He had 175 professional fights.
He would be the original Sugar Ray Robinson, not the original.
Sugar Ray Robinson.
That's right.
That boy had a left hook. You gotta watch some film on him. He'd throw triple, 4, 5, 6, 7 left hooks in a row. He was nasty.
And your left hook is your go-to move, is that right?
Yeah, it's my bread and butter.
Yeah.
People say watch out for my left, but I just never had a throw right hand.
That's right.
Say watch out for my right.
Because you wouldn't have to, because it click just like that. Ladies and gentlemen, I do have a story to tell you. I know some of you on the sound of my voice do recall Lawrence Taylor, the great Lawrence Taylor.
Pepper.
Yeah, I'm getting to it.
All right.
So his guy on the other side was Pepper Johnson, who also was the linebacker coach with the Patriot. Now, Pepper was like 6'2", 250, 260.
Yeah.
Now, from there, I'm going to segue. Now, mind you, this is the middle linebacker NFL style. Now, I got my Faison here, Jarret. Take my viewing audience or my listening audience through what happened to 6'2", 260-pound Pepper.
Well, I don't boast about it because it wasn't a good time in my life. I'm not proud of it.
Okay.
It's not something that it's a notch on my belt. It's not. I wish it didn't happen. But we were out downtown in Club Prav. It was right around closing time, and it was Pepper Johnson. I didn't know it was Pepper Johnson. I'm a Patriot fan.
Right.
If I would have seen it was him, if I would have looked at his Super Bowl rings, but we're all drinking, we're all in the moment. Some girl that I know was walking by me, and he was blocking her or something, and she's looking at me, she's like, this guy won't let me by. So I said, why don't you have a little respect and let the girl by? As I'm
looking
at
up
him, you know?
at 6'3", 260 or whatever he was.
So he's walking around the club with a bottle of liquor, you know.
Okay.
And it was right around closing, and he turned around and he started poking me in my forehead, and he said, "I don't have to respect nothing," blah. And he was like poking me. Hey, you can argue with me, but once you touch me, especially back then,
Right, your space.
I was a different beast, you know.
Yeah.
So he was poking me in my head, and I said, "Why don't you do that to me outside?" So he both.
This is Pepper Johnson, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, no, I didn't know it was him.
Right.
I had no clue.
Right.
If I did, I would have jumped in his arms and hugged him and said, "I'm a Patriot fan, I love you."
Yeah.
But I didn't know it was him. So he turns around and he does a beeline to the front door. Now, when he gets outside, he opens the door. Now everybody's emptying out because it's 2:00. So everybody's in the street. So Pepper steps off of it's like
Platform.
the platform
Yes.
onto the sidewalk.
Sure I do.
So I open the door, I come out, I'm on the platform, he goes from the platform to the sidewalk, and he never let me off the platform. He turns around, and now he's even with me. And now I'm not looking up no more, because now I got those 3-4 inches I needed, because I was still on the platform.
Yeah. Well, that's right.
So he starts poking me in my head again, and I just hit him with a left hook on his chin, crushed him with it. I mean, I felt my toes tingle. And I just turned around and I walked away. I just knew it was like one of those, you throw a jumper up and you know it's wet, so you just walk away and you don't even look.
You knocked him out cold.
Oh, he was
In the hospital.
A couple of days, few days he was in there. Yeah, he was. Yeah, I heard him.
Put him to sleep.
Yeah, and then I'm driving around because now I'm driving around with a wig on and a mustache around Providence because everybody knows Tillinghast just knocked out Pepper Johnson. So the word spread, and now I'm thinking the cops are gonna get me because So I'm driving up Federal on Atlas Avenue, like you don't even know it's me. All of a sudden I get an unmarked car comes behind me and pulls me over. I'm like, damn, So they come up to my window and the detective sticks his hand through the window and goes, "Pepper Johnson?" Like, oh.
You knocked out Pepper Johnson.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm not in trouble, right? He goes, "No, there's no charges, but you never have to take your hands out of your pockets again. That was it. You never have to do a thing again." And it was one of those moments. And listen, it's one of the moments I'm not proud of,
Right, which is the perfect segue for me because that was then, and this is now. We said that we would go into increments, and now we go into that second increment that we spoke about. So being chased by the law, being a punk, doing all these different things,
right.
You learned your lesson. And so my question to you is at what point did you, Jarrod Tillinghast, decide to change?
It was Halloween of 2016. I was sitting in court, and I had people I trusted and loved dearly trying to put me in jail, and it was malice. It was demonic, and I'm looking at them, and
these were people that you trusted?
Yeah, loved, and loved, and I just said to myself, the only way I'm going to give these people what they want is if I do it to myself, because I'm the only one that can do that to me. So that day, that moment, I left the courthouse.
Was it Halloween night?
Halloween day.
Halloween day.
Yeah, Halloween day.
Wow.
Well,
how appropriate.
I was drinking. I was, I get pulled over. I get a DUI, and then people started using things against me, and it was like trying to hurt me. And still to this day, it's coming at me. But I knew that day. I was like, that's it. I'm done. I'm changing everything now, because to give somebody the satisfaction of them saying, "See, I told you so. Look at them," that wasn't going to happen. So that moment on, I said that was it, and it wasn't just that moment. I got two babies. I got two sons.
Tired of being sick and tired.
I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Two beautiful boys.
Two beautiful sons that are watching.
Sebastian and Julian.
Yeah,
What's going on, guys?
My aces,
Look how
man.
cool your dad is. He look cool, don't he? Look at him. He's going to be a co-hero before this is all over
Those two
with.
kids right there, man, they changed the game for me, you know? They
Right.
changed it. They changed
And
it.
Julian said he likes Messi. He doesn't like Ronaldo in soccer.
Sebastian.
Yeah, Sebastian.
Yeah.
Right. Well, you got two fine-looking kids, man.
Yeah, thank you. I
And-
could have had kids with a sheep and still been beautiful.
Well, look at
Come
that.
on.
Well, Dad, he's like, look at me, I'm so pretty. Jarret, we got a pretty contest going on. Because you pretty and I'm pretty. You watching Ernest Faison show, PEG, RITV. Ladies and gentlemen, I know you know this man around. He has been through it. But you know what, though? Prodigal son comes back and he makes good. This man has turned his life over. This man is living for the Lord now.
Yes.
And the next question I have for you, Jarret, is at what point, besides that moment in court, did you want to change your life? And was there other incidents that kind of, triggered you to, want to turn over a new leaf? Because it happens.
Yeah, there was
All right, let me try this.
Yeah.
What changed in your life? Let's try it like that.
All right.
What changed in your life?
all right. So one of the things that were a big factor that changed was I didn't have a drinking problem, but every time I drank, there was a problem. and
Okay.
yeah,
False courage, they call it.
yeah, but I'm dangerous. I'm dangerous, and then you put alcohol in me, and you times that by 10.
Okay.
So the world's a safer place now, So the most
You
important.
can keep that left hand in your pocket
Yeah,
there.
things are different. So the most important thing for me was to take control of the things that were out of control
I like that. Take control of things that were out of control.
in my life. And the number one thing that
Sebastian and Julian looking right at you
so
too.
my kids that watch it. So the number one thing I said to myself was, I'm done. I walk away from alcohol, and I'll never be in a situation where I'm not in control. Even though I'm not in control, he's in control.
He's in control. I like that.
But I can help. I wouldn't help the process by being intoxicated and having a drink and getting in those bad places that it would put me in. That's darkness.
How has the change make you feel today?
Man,
You say, I'm here, I'm sober, I'm clear-headed.
October 31st is 2 years sober.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just opened up a gym.
I just
You knew I was
opened
going
up
to get to
a
it.
boxing gym.
Go ahead and tell the people about it.
Yeah, I just opened up Legendary Boxing in North Providence,
Sure.
right in Centerdale. The town of North Providence has been amazing. The mayor, the police, they're really good to me. I'm working with the truancy department, working with the school department.
Kids. Excellent.
Yeah.
So that's your calling.
Yeah, I did a program fighting for a chance for Central Falls High School, like 5 or 6 years prior to anything, or even more. And all the same kids that I had in that program, they're all coming back now. And they're
Excellent.
they're all coming back years later, and they're all training with me. I got one of them fighting for a championship, November 23rd.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving forward, that's nice. I like that.
Yeah.
How has the change affected your business, your relationship, and your family?
The changes affected my business.
Got to be booming.
Booming. We're booming. There's a big demand for me to train people. I'm working with other trainers that come in there, but business has been amazing. I do a Bible study in my gym now every Saturday
Excellent.
morning, 8 to 9. I knew my gym wasn't going to
This
work.
is Jarret, the bad boy.
Yeah, that's right.
Say it again, Jarret. Say it
I
again.
do a Bible study every Saturday morning, 2051 Smith Street in North Providence. We got about 50, 60 men that come in there loyally.
Mentorship.
Yeah, mentorship. I knew my building wasn't going to make it without God in there. So I made sure I have God in my building. And everything that comes through my door has been an amazing blessing. I just got another blessing yesterday. I'm humbled. I'm humbled by things that are going
You're
on.
humbled.
Oh, humbled. Man.
Outstanding. Who or what do you credit the change?
It in the beginning, I'm the one who has to make the change myself.
That's
I
right.
have to
How
be
tired are you at being sick and tired?
I was sick and tired of being sick and tired.
All right, there we go.
You know,
all right,
and I had to make changes within me.
Okay.
I had to be different. I had to open up to different things. But the man upstairs, man, you know, God has been great to me. And through that, through connecting back in my church and doing things that way, God works through people. And
He does. Vessels.
He sent the most amazing individuals in my life that inspire me, that encourage me, that keep me going, like, you know, it's you know,
Tim
like
Struby.
Tim Struby. Another that was from my cousin
Which is
Seth.
a perfect segue.
My cousin
Ladies and gentlemen, you watching PEG RITV, Ernest Faison Show. I feel like I want to throw a few now because I want to get him. That's my buddy Jarret. Float like a butterfly and sting like a bee.
my boy.
His name is Jarret Ali, is what I want to call him. So I told you we had to on this thing, man.
Yeah, man.
So, ladies and gentlemen, there was this guy, Tim Struby, who's doing a movie on your life.
Well, Tim Struby is a writer.
Okay.
Tim Struby, my cousin Seth DeRobio,
Sure.
who Seth works with Lou DiBella. Lou DiBella is one of the biggest boxing promoters in the world. My cousin Seth told Tim Struby that you have to get my cousin's story. So we went back and forth for a little while with it, and Tim was calling me, and then something came up, and he disappeared for a year, and I didn't hear from him. Then, right when I was in the middle of getting divorced, Tim calls me, and now I'm back out there in the scene. I'm drinking. I'm back, like, you know, and I was looking for trouble. So Tim calls me, and he's like, "Hey, what are you doing? I want to do your story. I want to come to Rhode Island." I'm like, "You picked the perfect time. Come down." So he came down over the course of 2 years, a year and a half, and he spent months with us. He didn't want to leave us. Man,
That's outstanding.
We took him in like a brother. I didn't think his life was ever going to be the same because he came at a time where I was back. I was out there.
And then Victory Magazine, the journal.
Well, Tim did my story. So we spent about 2 years together, and he wrote my story and he released it in Victory Journal. And Victory Journal is one of the main...
The creme de la creme.
Yeah. There's one of the #1 sports magazines all over the world.
Right.
So...
I've seen it.
My story ends up winning 2018 America's Best Sports Writing. And that ripple effect prompted Animal Kingdom Productions to call Tim Struby and say, "We want to meet this guy. We love the story." So they flew in from Cali, and they've been here 4 or 5 times. I signed the life agreements right with them. I had to send the agreement to New York for some New York lawyers that I had other friends that made that connection for me, and I thank you for everything. But they made the connection. I signed the life agreement right. They just now found a writer. I mean, they found
funding.
They got the financial backing for it.
Yes.
So now we're just shopping for a writer right now, and they were going in. I thought it would be a movie, but they're going more in the direction of a TV series, something that come out on Netflix, and it's basically my life growing up.
That is outstanding.
Yeah.
You got to feel good. You got to feel good because, Jarret, you come full circle.
Yeah.
You are watching PEG RITV, the Ernest Faison Show. I hope that you're enjoying this because I told Jarret that I would dig right into it.
Yeah.
And he goes from being a punk to actually, getting into boxing, to getting a deal, to being a father,
to giving
and now
back,
Victory Magazine, accepting the Lord.
Giving back is what it's about, Ernest.
Right.
Giving
I like
back,
that.
Giving back.
And Jarret, I told you before you got off this show, man, that it ain't been no picnic because your father was less than favorable. And Jarret, don't come at me, because Jarret told me that I can ask these questions.
Yeah, get raw, man.
And your father was in the mob.
Yeah.
And so you being very impressionable, it wasn't a good example at first.
I didn't have anybody for an example. I surrounded myself with sports and other families. That's where I got my normalcy from.
Where is your relationship with your father, who was in the mob. How's that coming along, and where is that at now?
I'm not mad at anybody. Life is life. They were kids once before us. Even mom and dad. I'm not mad at anybody. My relationship is good with everybody in my family. I don't have no bad.
Because you've turned another leaf.
Yeah, because listen, hate never beats hate. Love is the only thing that can conquer hate.
And it's the strongest
It's
power on the face of the
only
earth.
thing that can conquer hate. And I struggle with it sometimes because I want to hate people that hate me.
Yeah.
But that's all I knew. Mm-hmm. That old I want to, that's not who I am. So I'm not going to let other people change me for who I am and what person I am today. If I was that 4 years ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, let me reintroduce myself.
I heard that.
You know?
Yeah. Well, you've come a long way, bro, from when I've seen you, and you seem like you got your priorities intact.
Yeah.
You got two beautiful boys.
Yeah.
And they look up to you, and I know that you want to make the very, very good
And
example.
I'm gonna.
And we had them on, and one likes Messi. I like Messi. One likes Ronaldo.
I'm a
Speaking of
Ronaldo
soccer,
guy. Yeah.
what do you like?
Ronaldo.
Ronaldo. Yeah, I figured you would. Yeah. Ronaldo, of course.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, Jarret, think that you're Italian.
I grew up that way.
Oh, exactly. I thought you was Italian. Then I started using my common sense. Tillinghast.
Tillinghast. Irish English is my dad, and my mother's Puerto Rican Cuban.
Yeah.
That's why the sex appeal is through the roof, man.
You had two pretty boys on here, boy. I tell you, I don't know if y'all can handle it, because we so bad we make medicine sick. In all seriousness, ladies and gentlemen, Jarret, I'm so proud of him because he'll even tell you he was less than favorable for a while, doing all the bad things, getting inebriated, throwing that vicious left hand, knocked out Pepper Johnson. Now he's found the good Lord.
Now I'm using it to lift people up.
Now he's using it to lift people up.
Yeah.
Now he's also got a boxing gym. They have prayer meetings.
Yeah.
He's raising up the youth. Victory Magazine is going to do a journal is going to do a movie about his life. Thanks to Mr. Strube. And it just looks like the sky's the limit for you now,
Sky's
bro.
the limit,
You've turned over a new leaf, man. You're getting your comeuppance.
You know, I didn't understand that. I say this all the time. People say they believe in the universe, they believe in this and this, but if God created everything, that's part of what God created was the universe and
Absolutely.
all that stuff. So I didn't understand about energy. Now energy is very important to me now because before things would be going wrong in my life, and I was like, why is this happening? Why is this? And it was the places I was going, the people I was with, the things I was doing. Now that I eliminated everything, and now I'm not drinking. I'm in church. I'm with God. Now there's a positive. So I just keep. I keep eliminating. I keep bad stuff out.
Jarret, you've come up big, brother, and this will not be the last time that you be on my TV show, man. And we will be doing things, me and this guy, because this is my brother.
Yeah.
I hope that you've enjoyed this. Peg, RITV. We floated like a butterfly and we stung like a bee. Jarret,
Ernest,
thank you,
my man.
brother.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it, bro.
It flew.